Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Good day and welcome to Fusion Mobile e-learning platform. My name is Fayami Kende and I'll be taking on English language. Today we are going to be discussing questions and other questions. We have the subtopic or the subheadings, tag questions, how to form tag questions, special forms of tag questions, purpose of tag questions, use of contractions, WH questions, rhetorical questions, and yes or no questions, otherwise known as the polar questions. Questions are there are various types of questions, each of which has its type of answer. But in these units, 4 types of questions shall be discussed, which are tag question, WH questions, rhetorical questions, and the yes and no questions, otherwise called the polar questions. The tag questions are short questions which follow a statement immediately. They are also called disjunctive questions. They are usually used as responses to indicate an attitude to a statement. The tag question consists of an operator and a pronoun. That is, the subject in the tag question is a pronoun or introductory there. How to form question tags or tag questions. There are 6 things students need to know about tag questions. First, positive statements, affirmatives, attract negative tags. Positive statements attract negative tags. Example, you are right, aren't you? They are going, aren't they? Negative statements attract positive or affirmative tags. Example, he is not here, is he? You are not right, are you? 3. Helping verbs are usually repeated in the tag. Example, he is coming today, isn't he? We shall not die, shall we? They can do it, can't they? They can do it, can't they? Number 4. Other verbs, main or lexical, have do, does, or did in the tag. Example, you don't care for me, do you? John didn't drink, did he? Joy failed her examinations, didn't she? The number 5 thing that we should know about question or tag question, the subject in the tag question is a pronoun or introductory word. That is, the subject or the initial word in the clause must reflect in the tag. Example, Mary called you yesterday, didn't she? The subject of the sentence is Mary, and therefore a pronoun is used to make reference to Mary in the tag, reflecting Mary in the tag. Mary called you yesterday, didn't she? She is the pronoun that has represented Mary, and it is reflecting in the tag. Another example is, John didn't love you, did he? The sun is bright, isn't it? Number 6 thing we have to know about tag questions. The choice and tense of the operator, that is the auxiliary, are determined by the verb phrase in the main clause of statement. I'll take that again. The choice and tense of the operator, that is the auxiliary, are determined by the verb phrase in the main clause of statement. Example, John jumps over the fence. Doesn't he? That is in the present form. John jumps over the fence. Doesn't he? John jumped over the fence. Didn't he? Past tense. In example or rule 5 and 6 above, the subject or the introductory and the tense in the tag question must reflect or correspond with what is in the sentence. We have special forms of tag questions. Special forms of tag questions. In forming tags, I am. Tags using I am. Usually as the tag aren't I. That is, aren't I. In a sentence where we have, or a statement where we have I am, the tag must be aren't I. This is because the use of ain't I, that is ain't, is outdated, it is colloquial, and it is not standard. I am your boss, aren't I? That is an example. You don't say, I am your boss, aren't I? This is only possible when the statement is positive, that is affirmative. If negative, the statement is, the tag is still am I? Am I? Example, I am not your boss, am I? In the positive statement, it says, I am your boss, aren't I? The negative statement says, or the negative tag says, I am not your boss, am I? Need. The use of need. Need to can be used as an auxiliary or as a lexical verb. Let us take a look at statements with need. Let us. Better. Rather. And used to. We are going to take examples on each of these phrases. Examples 1 says, I am your friend, aren't I? The next one says, we need to know, don't we? We need ask him first, needn't we? Let us do it now, shall we? Let us do it now. Will you? Will you there is a request. The previous one, which says, with the tag says, shall we, is imperative. You had better listen, hadn't you? You had rather stay, wouldn't you? He used to lie, didn't he? He used to lie, didn't he? Note that examples where we used shall and where we have will you, that is the imperative and the request above, do not follow the principle of the positive and negative of tag questions. Purpose of tag questions. We use tag questions whenever we wish the persons to whom we are speaking to agree with us. That is to confirm that what we are saying is correct. There are two ways of using a tag question. With a rising intonation when we have some doubt in our mind about what we have said, or a falling tone when we have no doubt whatsoever in our mind about the truth of what we are saying. Now let us take a look at the use of contractions. Notice that negative verbs, whether in the statement portion or in the tag, are usually contracted. Isn't is used instead of is not. Isn't instead of is not. We have hasn't instead of has not. Hadn't instead of had not. Didn't instead of did not. Note that the statement portion is always separated from the tag with a comma. Let's take for example, we need to know, don't we? If we are to write that out, we need to know, comma, don't we? The main statement is always separated from the tag question with a comma. On no occasion must you write it out bluntly without a comma separating the statement from the tag question. The WH questions are formed by the use of the following interrogative words: who, whom, whose, what, which, when, where, why, and how. How is included in the list of the interrogative words because it is pronounced with the initial H, like whom and whose, even though it's not in WH1. It has the H sound in the initial stage of the pronunciation of that word. Example of these interrogative words are: who beat the boy? Who beat the boy? Who did they beat the way on the way? Who did they beat on the way? Whose shirt did you tear? What do you need now? Which books have you read? Where have you gone since? Why are they flogging that boy? How did you get the answer? How long will you stay there? Rhetorical questions. They are questions. Rhetorical questions are ones that are asked in which no replies or answers are expected. It is one which functions as a forceful statement. The purpose of a rhetorical question is to lay great emphasis on something and to show a deep feeling for it. Example of this is: how long have I lamented? Who knows tomorrow? Can anybody doubt my sincerity? God, why have you forsaken me? What impact have I made? These rhetorical questions do not need responses. They do not need anybody to answer them, or neither do they need one to answer oneself. They are questions that serve as forceful statements. Now let us take a look at the last type of questions that we have here, which is the yes or no questions, or the polar questions. Yes or no questions, otherwise called polar questions, are generally formed by placing the operator, that is the auxiliary, before the subject and giving the sentence a rising intonation. That is, they are formed by the inversion of the subject and the finite. One of the significance of this type of question is to avoid repetition. The 24 anomalous finites are usually used in giving short answers to such questions. The operators or anomalous finite verbs, give the sentences a rising intonation, while yes or no and the finite verbs that constitute the answer receive a falling intonation. Let us take these few examples. Is the man around now? The question takes a rising intonation. Yes, he is. Or no, he isn't. The response takes a falling tone. Other examples are: can you do it alone? Yes, I can. Or no, I can't. Were they invited? Were they invited? No, they weren't. Yes, they were. Was Joy late? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Does Obi write letters? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Etc., etc. With that, we have come to the end of this session. But before we go, a few questions are going to pop up on your screen for you to attempt. I advise that you attempt these questions and try as much as possible to get them correctly. However, if you find difficulties in answering these questions, please review the video once again and correct yourselves on your mistakes. Good luck.